Hi, we have Timothy Douglas, who is the Senior Industry Solutions Manager for Autodesk. So thanks for being here, Timothy.
Thanks for having me.
So what are some of the challenges your industry is facing today?
Well, I think that the construction industry is really, going through a time of unparalleled change in terms of their adoption of technology, really trying to drive to a more predictable, more manufacturing-like process. I think that for contractors, the base things still are what matter most, delivering your projects on time, on schedule, on budget. And so what we're really focused on is really trying to meet the challenges of the industry to deliver a technology that gives them insight into the things that they care about most before they get out in the field. Because what happens in the traditional construction process today is you get some documentation and you figure some things out before you get out in the field. But invariably, it takes getting out in the field and seeing what's happening on the ground before things are really solved. But by taking a model-based approach or a BIM-based approach to construction, contractors really can begin to try to understand how a building's going to come together, how all these pieces are going to come together before they get out in the field. And not only how all these systems are going to come together, but then how much things cost, how they can schedule the work in the most efficient manner.
All right. So what problem remains unresolved?
Well, I think that what we've seen, really over the past few years as the industry kind of moves through this transition. I think first and foremost, it's the industry's ability to, manage all of this change. Change is difficult for everyone. And so their ability to take in this change, absorb this technology, and really implement it in a way that's workable for them with the people that they have on staff today is really, something that the industry has to work through. It's not so much a technology issue, but a process and person issue. But I think that on the technology side, particularly with our solutions, our contractors today are largely leveraging a lot of tools that have been built for other disciplines, like architects or engineers. And they figured out how to use them to meet their needs, but they don't exactly meet their needs. And so I think that, as the technology evolves, it'll meet more specifically the real needs of the contractors today. And, there are some solutions that we have delivered that are specific to contractors, and that's great, built from the ground up. But there's definitely room to improve other areas of the portfolio.
That's fair enough. So how does it intersect with the world of Autodesk?
Well, Autodesk has always been known as a design company. And so as a design company, we've been really focused on, leveraging technology, bringing technology to the design process, to streamline the design process. But what's happening is the design and construction process is becoming much more seamless with practices like IPD coming along, integrated project delivery. Really, the design and construction process is really collapsing and becoming a single process. And so as information now moves from design into construction in a much more seamless way, and that there's tools for contractors in particular to leverage that design information, to use that design information to derive those things that they care, derive insight into the things they care about, like constructability or cost or schedule. That's, I think, where you see this really interesting intersection. It's really an industry shift that is working well in terms of what Autodesk has delivered historically and what we're delivering to contractors in the construction industry.
So what are some of the real-world applications?
So what we see contractors doing today, there's really kind of two different approaches that we see with a lot of contractors today. Some contractors are developing kind of core BIM teams within their pre-construction services groups, and really using that as a central service point for the BIM projects across their business. And I think what's one advantage for that is you really begin to develop a store of knowledge and creating some best practices to help you leverage technologies like Revit for model-based construction, or Navisworks to figure out how all these various systems and components come together, or Quantity Takeoff for how, to count all the parts of the building to drive more effective costing. So bringing all these pieces together is really what's key in helping these guys derive that understanding that we talked about. And I think that what we see when companies are taking this model-based approach, kind of centralizing that approach, bringing those folks together, is that they're able to really, drive inefficiencies out of the process in the field. What we've seen in some cases are a dramatic drop in change orders, which is something that really plagues the construction industry. Again, you're trying to solve a problem after it's already happened. With the tools that we're bringing into the marketplace today, and what we see with our contractors, is that these decisions are being made earlier in the process. So it's much more effective for them and much more effective for the owner.
Oh, that makes sense. So how do companies find out more about Autodesk Construction Solutions?
So I think that the best way to get started is really to go to autodesk.com/construction solutions.
Okay.
We've got a lot of information up there. I think most importantly, we tell you about the technology and the solutions we bring to the table, but there's also a lot of content that highlights how our customers are leveraging this technology and how they've deployed it to really meet the challenges that they're facing every day and delivering their projects. And I think that that's a great place to start, is really hearing from your peers and understanding what they've done and the benefits that they're realizing as a result of making this move.
Very good. Well, thank you for taking the time to be with us.
Thanks a lot.
And thank you for joining us too.